Also, Complex has put out their 10 most influential women in sports. And Angel Reese is not going to like this because, well, she got beaten by Caitlin Clark for number 1.
Caitlin Clark has done it again. As if dominating on the court wasn't enough, she just scored another huge win, without even stepping onto the hardwood. Complex just crowned her the most influential female athlete, solidifying her spot as the biggest name in sports right now. And here's the kicker. She beat out Angel Reese, who, unsurprisingly, isn't taking it too well.
It's been hard for me, but adjusting and just kind of have that mindset of like just moving on has been something I try to give myself a little bit of grace.
Exactly. While Caitlin Clark is out here winning awards, growing the game, and making history, Angel Reese is busy making excuses, acting like this honor doesn't matter. But let's be real, if she had won, we'd never hear the end of it. Instead of celebrating someone else's success, Reese is doing what she does best, downplaying Clark's achievements while spending more time on TikTok than in the gym.
Announcing the top 10 most influential athletes right now. These athletes are reshaping culture. Caitlin Clark, check. Breaking records. Caitlin Clark, check. Proving their impact goes far beyond the game, from sold-out arenas to game-changing moves in business and fashion. These women are leading the way. If this is a top 10 list, then sitting on the top of that list, there's only one right answer. There's only one correct.
Let's get one thing straight. This isn't just about an award. It's about who the fans truly care about. One player has people tuning in for her jaw-dropping skills, while the other, well, she's making headlines for everything except basketball. Some call it a rivalry, but let's be honest, it's not much of a competition when only one player is actually winning.
So my whole thing was like, when I got drafted, number 7. So I'm like, cool, like the pressure is not even on me because I'm drafted 7, so the pressure shouldn't be up there. So I'm like, all right, cool, I can just hoop. So I'm like, all right, cool.
It's because you started killing it.
Well, yeah.
And they're like, oh,
I'm still a rookie. I'm still figuring it out. Trying to figure.
Now, let's break it all down. Why did Caitlin Clark take home this award? What makes her influence undeniable? And most importantly, why is Angel Reese acting like she just got robbed? We're diving deep into the numbers, the impact, and the hilarious aftermath. Let's get into it.
And Angel Reese is not going to like this because, well, she got beaten by Caitlin Clark for number 1. Yeah, so we're going to take a look at that. I think it's hilarious. I will tell you right off the bat, I don't believe there's a singular world where Angel Reese should be ahead of Simone Biles either. There, I put that out.
Caitlin Clark didn't just break records, she demolished them. 62 records shattered in a single season. Let that sink in. This isn't just about making history. It's about rewriting the entire record book. No player in WNBA history has ever dominated like this. And the craziest part? She's only in year 1.
My expectation is to be one of the best players in the world one day. I wouldn't expect anything less than that.
more history for the FIBA rookie.
At this point, continue to be myself, and I think a lot of good will come from it.
But here's where it gets even more ridiculous. Caitlin Clark didn't just put up crazy numbers, she completely changed the trajectory of an entire franchise. Before she arrived, the Indiana Fever were stuck at the bottom of the league, struggling for relevance. Then Clark showed up and boom, they made the playoffs for the first time in nearly a decade. That's not just individual greatness, that's team-changing dominance.
Woman who's been putting women's basketball on her back for the better part of 3 years now. These athletes are reshaping culture. Caitlin Clark has men watching women's basketball.
And let's talk about off-court impact, because this is where Caitlin Clark completely separates herself from the so-called rivals. The WNBA's merchandise sales exploded by 500% in her rookie season. That's not a typo. The league's merch demand quintupled the moment she stepped on the court. Jerseys, t-shirts, memorabilia, it all flew off the shelves at a rate the WNBA had never seen before. And you already know whose jerseys weren't selling out. Yeah, while Clark's were gone within minutes, Angel Reese's? Just sitting there collecting dust.
This is a phenomenon. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenon.
Just about jersey sales. Clark's influence is changing the entire WNBA economy. Viewership is at an all-time high. Arenas that used to struggle to sell tickets, now packed to capacity, but only when Caitlin Clark is in town. Teams that once begged people to show up are now scrambling to expand seating just to handle the demand. That's not just popularity, that's a game-changing phenomenon.
That's what they got on her. Caitlin Clark, she ran away with number one. I don't think that should surprise us. She came away with number one. Caitlin Clark is redefining the entire landscape of women's sports. That's right. Her dominance on the court has shattered outdated narratives about women's sports, proving that women's basketball can be just as marketable and widely watched as men's. But the Caitlin Clark effect goes far beyond her performance. It's reshaping the entire sports landscape. Clark's impact is undeniable. Her presence alone boosts the WNBA attendance by 100.
Even sports economists are blown away by Clark's impact. The Lavalier, one of the biggest names in sports business, called Clark a lightning rod for women's basketball, comparing her to Michael Jordan in how she's elevating the game's visibility and value. And honestly, she's absolutely right.
Because when we went to the WNBA games and we went to go watch Caitlin Clark when they came to play the Washington Mystics in DC, and they shut that they had to move the game from the Washington Mystics WNBA arena to the actual Washington arena where the Wizards played, and it was packed. It was sold out for people to see Caitlin Clark. That did not happen the day before that when they went to Chicago to play Angel.
Let's talk hard numbers. Caitlin Clark's rookie season alone generated $36 million for Indianapolis. One player did that. And this is just the beginning. Experts predict that Clark's rise will increase women's basketball's value by $1.6 billion in the next 3 years. Yes, billion with a B.
To look at this the way I did with Michael Jordan. Now, she's not the Michael Jordan of her sport as far as athleticism, playing, dominating. But A'ja Wilson is the best player in the game. Not even a debate. But I'm talking about value now. Value to a franchise, value to a league, getting your team in the playoffs. They had the number one pick. They were the worst team last year. And there is value that I can attack.
So, what does all of this mean? Caitlin Clark isn't just a superstar. She's a movement. She's doing more than dominating on the court. She's reshaping the entire future of the league. She's drawing in new fans, generating massive revenue, and turning women's basketball into must-watch television. This isn't hype, it's history in the making.
About value. Michael Jordan was the most valuable player every single year because of what he meant to his team and what he meant to the league. And, oh, by the way, winning 6 titles. Can't argue with that. Caitlin Clark may not win titles. Las Vegas is still a great team. But the fact that she is doing what she's doing and at a very high level, it's now commonplace where she'll go for 26 and 12. I mean, those are great numbers for any player, no matter how long you've been.
Meanwhile, Angel Reese is still sitting there, trying to figure out why she wasn't named the most influential. Maybe if she spent more time improving her game and less time complaining on social media, she'd get it. Success isn't given, it's earned.
Sports. This is about athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at Caitlin Clark's game, who's very reminiscent of a Steph Curry based on her range and shooting the three, plus everything else she does. And then you look at Angel Reese. Stop it. Stop it. There's a dude on the internet who cracks me up on TikTok. He's put together a shitload of Angel Reese clips, and it'll say Angel Reese part 36, and it goes, Angel Reese going up for another layup, she misses, bang! And I mean, dude, it's the funniest shit. And my whole thing is this, dude, she just seems as uncoordinated as a baby.
Caitlin Clark's path to these awards might seem like a foregone conclusion, but the real story is so much bigger. Remember Angel Reese? She was hyped up as Clark's biggest competition, with the media pushing a so-called rivalry between them. It was framed as the ultimate battle, a season-long war that had fans locked in. But let's be real, was it ever really close?
Saying Angel Reese is better than Caitlin Clark is saying Rodman was better than Michael Jordan, or Ben Wallace was better than Kobe, or even Andre Drummond was better than LeBron. And I shouldn't have to point out that Angel Reese is actually a poor defender.
From the very start, the media pushed the narrative of two rookies battling for WNBA supremacy. But as the season went on, the gap became painfully obvious. This wasn't a duel of equals. It was one player dominating the league, while the other spent more time in the headlines than in the box scores.
3-on-3, part 13, let's get it! Classic long two. Bang! PSA, no rims or backboards were harmed during the filming of this video. But viewers are encouraged to look away. Bang! What? Bang! I heard her say that she might sit out if the WNBA doesn't pay her what she deserves. They say $1 million for every missed layup is fair. Bang!
They are stat penning queen properly. Fair wages for all. I repeat, fair wages.
Remember, they're coming to see her. Long two, butter pecan. Bang!
Then came Rookie of the Year and First Team All-WNBA, and that's when everything was exposed. Clark didn't just win, she ran away with it. The so-called competition? Not even close. And Reese? Well, she wasn't exactly graceful in defeat. Instead of congratulating Clark, she ran straight to social media, claiming Clark didn't deserve the honor. Imagine losing a race by a mile, and then demanding a recount.
Her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off.
But here's the thing, Clark's success isn't just about awards or individual rivalries. She's not just out to win trophies. She's reshaping the entire WNBA. Her impact goes beyond basketball. She's growing the game, breaking attendance records, and bringing in millions of new fans. Meanwhile, Reese is still trying to convince people she's on Clark's level. Reality says otherwise.
Scoring, yes, she's the all-time greatest scorer in the history of college basketball, men's or women's, but passing like this? I'm talking about gifted LeBron-esque bounce passing. I'm talking about gifted LeBron-esque two-handed, full court, touchdown pass kind of passing. The likes of which I don't see in the WNBA.